congressmen wanting to be congresswomen out of Delaware, Sarah McBride. Sarah McBride is wanting to fight for using the public restrooms with the women in Capitol Hill. This is Donald Trump's second term, and you and I know that he is not going to go into this thing like the first time. More wisdom, more experience. A lot has been happening as President-elect Donald Trump has been selecting his cabinet, starting out with Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. Matt Gaetz has officially withdrawn from the nomination, and I want to get your take on this.
We have breaking news this hour. Matt Gaetz is stepping down from his nomination to Attorney General of the United States. Many said this was the most contentious of the nominations made by former President Trump, and he has announced categorically that he will not be seeking confirmation to the post of Attorney General. Here are his words. I had an excellent meeting with senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. While the momentum was strong, it is clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There's no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. I remain fully committed to seeing that Donald J. Trump is the most successful president in history. Look, Griff, this was quick. I mean, the appointment came as a surprise to many, and we will see what happens. We know the deputy is Todd Blanche. That was Trump's attorney in his case with Alvin Bragg here in New York. Many suspected that if Gaetz did not make it through, that perhaps Blanche would be elevated.
This is Donald Trump's second term. You and I both know that he is not going to go into this thing as he did the first time, with not knowing who was the rhinos, who was not the rhinos. Now he's being more strategic, and I would say this was more of it's chess and not checkers.
President-elect Trump naming former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi as his pick for Attorney General of the United States. She's a prosecutor with nearly 20 years of experience, including 8 years as Florida's top law enforcement official. She was one of the lawyers who defended Trump during his first Senate impeachment trial. And the president-elect is saying this: Pam will refocus the DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting crime and making America safe again. I've known Pam for many years. She is smart and tough and is an America First fighter who will do a terrific job as Attorney General. But not everyone is happy about the pick. One MSNBC guest claims Bondi is, quote, dangerous because she is qualified.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing.
These are the latest picks.
President-elect Trump's top issue on the campaign trail was the economy. In a highly anticipated pick, the transition team has chosen Scott Bessent as his nomination for Treasury Secretary. Bessent is a hedge fund manager who started Key Square Capital Management.
Donald Trump has a solution, and it's reciprocal tariffs. You, the great Art Laffer, was the one who told me Donald Trump is a free trader at the end of the day, and it's a strategy, escalate to de-escalate.
In a statement, Trump wrote, quote, he will help me usher in a new golden age for the United States as we fortify our position as the world's leading economy. President-elect Trump still needs to name the next leader of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Fox News Digital reports one of the names floated for the job is Todd Lyons, who leads ICE's enforcement and removal operation in Boston. It would come as the state of Texas offered more than 1,400 acres to help stage the mass deportation.
Lastly, we're going to touch on the congressmen wanting to be congresswomen out of Delaware, Sarah McBride. Sarah McBride is wanting to fight for using the public restrooms with the women in Capitol Hill. There is a mandate. I heard on CNN, MSDC saying it wasn't a mandate, it wasn't a landslide, and all of this propaganda rhetoric nonsense. There was a mandate stating that we are fed up with this woke agenda and that the men, even if they're costumed up as a woman, need to be in the proper restrooms, in the proper sports, competing against the proper gender. I am so glad that Nancy Mace and other congresswomen are standing up for women, adult women, children, little girls. I'm so glad, because it is very sick. And if you disagree, I want you to take a look.
Taking advantage of these rules, or who are actually just exploiting them. Look at this graphic. This is a graphic of just some of those who have been accused and gotten in trouble for doing this, for going, for example, into the women's restroom and getting caught taking a mirror and sliding it underneath the bathroom stall divider so he could get a glimpse of the next woman with her pants down or her skirt up, doing her business. That I don't want to have to worry about that. Now, there's every chance that a regular man could just sneak into an airport bathroom. You never know. This is one of the freaky things about being a woman. Guys, you may not know that we worry about this stuff sometimes, but you never know. If someone's in there looking at you, I mean, some guys get off on this. But it is a very different story if we're allowing them in. And all they have to say is, it's my gender identity. I identify as a woman. And while Sarah, formerly Tim, is doing his best to look the part of a woman, how does it stop those guys? Put that graphic back up there. If the rule is you can come into the bathroom based on your gender identity, how do we stop these guys from coming in? In fact, let me show you some of the so-called trans people online right now who are threatening Nancy Mace, all of whom would be allowed into one of these women's restrooms at the U.S. Capitol if Speaker Johnson doesn't change the rule. Take a look at this guy in SOT 3.
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your ratty looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead. Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well. Kisses.
Make no mistake, Speaker Johnson and every other member on Capitol Hill, you allow, quote, Sarah McBride in, you allow him in. That's just the fact. What will you say then? What will you say when that guy, maybe it won't be Nancy Mace, maybe it'll be a civilian, maybe it'll be somebody like me who's just there to take my kids on a tour. We have to go into the women's bathroom and that guy comes in. You can't have it. I'm sorry, but it must be stopped. Sarah is not allowed in, and neither is that guy. And it's a very simple rule. Women deserve to have their own private, safe, and secure spaces. We deserve not to have our risk of attack elevated as a result of a different rule that allows men in, and we deserve to have our peace of mind just knowing that we're in female-only spaces. We don't have to approve attacks or a pattern of violence, though there is one. We don't have to prove that. It is enough for us to say we don't want it. We want female-only spaces to remain female, period.
Guys, I want to know your guys' thoughts on everything that we discussed, from Matt Gaetz on down to the new nomination of Attorney General and all other the news breaks that we talked about today. I thank you guys, and we will see you on the next one.